It's been 2 weeks since Biden's incriminating laptop from hell was exposed by the New York Post. Since then, big tech, most notably Twitter, have been trying to suppress the story by blocking links, something they have admitted was wrong and have since reversed their decision on a couple of days ago. The mainstream media has dug their head in the sand and pretended there's nothing there. Joe Biden himself, when questioned by honest journalists, how few of them are left, has dodged and deflected questions towards Trump as he always does when facing scrutiny. Now, two new revelations, once and for all, prove that this scandal is real, it's important to the American people and indeed the world, and it must be reported on. The DOJ has confirmed there is an ongoing investigation involving Hunter Biden, and a security expert has validated the authenticity of the emails from the laptop. And that's what we are talking about today and more. We're political, and this is our Election 2020 series. As always, if you enjoy our content, give us a subscribe, give us a like button. It helps us with the algorithm. Leave us a comment down below. We reply to all comments as quick as we can. But honestly, best thing you can do, and we always say this, and particularly on this story, share it on your social medias and get the message out, because God knows no one else is doing it. So let's jump into it with these latest revelations.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ian. So we have here two tweets from you. The first one's from James Rosen. So if you don't know who James Rosen is, he's a former correspondent for Fox. Now he's working for Sinclair Broadcasting Group, a huge media company, one of the largest, if not the largest. He's been a Washington correspondent, and basically this guy is as mainstream media as you can get. He is. If you're a Democrat listening and you're the type of person who likes to say we're biased and it doesn't really exist, you cannot dispute James Rosen, cannot dispute his journalistic integrity. So we have here exclusive. The Justice Department official confirms that in 2019, the FBI opened up a criminal investigation into Hunter Biden and his associates, focused on allegations of money laundering, and that it remains open and active today. Open and active today. In fact, it's very active because Tony Bobulinski, who is Hunter Biden's ex-business partner, who was questioned last week, told We Are Sinclair he was questioned by 6 FBI agents. The counsel present for 5 hours on October the 23rd listed him as a material witness in an ongoing investigation focused on Hunter Biden and his associates. His cell phones were examined. What do you think of that, guy?
Well, here's the thing. When you think about the whole situation with the laptop and all of this, let's forget about all of that for a second. Let's just focus on these two tweets. So you have here a very reputable journalist telling us that the DOJ has told him that the son of a presidential candidate is under investigation for money laundering. That's incredibly relevant. It's very relevant. You can say, oh yeah, Hunter Biden, he's not on the ballot. Okay, sure. Joe Biden is the one that's on the ballot. But the reality is, this is still a big story. If this was Donald Trump's son, it would be everywhere. 24/7 coverage on CNN and NBC and ABC. All those guys would be reporting 100%, like all the time. Yes, Don Jr. He's money laundering, investigation. What's Trump doing? What's going on?
Absolutely. And if I can kind of head off the allegations, because I know someone's going to go into the comment section and they're going to say, oh, do we believe anonymous sources now? Well, first of all, depending on your political allegiance, a lot of people were pretty happy to believe anonymous sources when it was Trump's tax returns and things like this. However, it isn't just an anonymous source that's been conjured up out of nowhere. This is an independent journalist, of the most reputable journalist in the country. This source can be trusted, at least in my mind.
Well, it can be trusted in the sense that it's not really just one anonymous source from the DOJ. You have obviously Bobulinski talking about how he was questioned by the FBI. Why would he be questioned by the FBI if there wasn't an investigation in the first place, right? And And this really just caps off all of the evidence and everything that we've seen so far, obviously from the laptop itself, and all of the reporting that has been done on by, these non-mainstream media outlets who are breaking down all the information and putting it all together and building up this case to say, obviously, there's some very strange stuff going on here. And really, this is just, I suppose, it's the final nail in the coffin in many sense for the mainstream media's excuses, because they have no reason now. I mean, this guy works for the mainstream media, like you say. So there's no reason for them now to not talk about this, even if it's just to say Hunter Biden is under investigation for money laundering, active investigation, very active. His ex-business partner was just questioned by the FBI for 5 hours last week, and he's considered a material witness. That needs to be reported on. There's not much time until the election now, and many people probably still don't even know about any of this.
For sure. I mean, you did say there's no reason for the mainstream media not to report on this. I disagree. There is a reason. It's because they support Joe Biden. But I get your point. They've run out of excuses for it. And what I think will happen, and this is just me speculating, I think we'll get to election day and then they'll change their mind. After everyone's voted, they'll go, oh, whoops-a-daisy, we've changed our mind. It turns out there is a story here, actually. Who knew? Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll only be doing that, as you say, they'll do it after election day to save face, because then they can say, oh, yes, we just now validated it after the election. It's not that, we're completely biased and corrupt and doing our best to help Biden and hamper Trump. So let's move on to the other story as well. So this is from Daily Caller. We said when the emails first came out, at least I was thinking myself, being a bit of a nerd, that there's a very easy way to authenticate these emails. And obviously people like Rudy Giuliani, who had access to the laptop, aren't going to be the biggest tech heads that there are. He probably wasn't really aware of all of these things. It's taken a bit of time. Now, though, the emails have been sent to, given access to a cybersecurity expert who has been able to validate them by looking into the metadata. So, an email Hunter Biden received on April 2015 from Burisma executive discussing an introduction to then Vice President Joe Biden, which lies at the heart of the New York Post investigation, is unquestionably authentic, a cybersecurity expert has told the Daily Caller News Foundation. They obtained a full copy of Hunter Biden's alleged laptop from New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani on Wednesday, and provided Robert Graham, the founder of the cybersecurity firm Arata Security, with a copy of the email and its metadata for forensic analysis. So Graham has been used by the Washington Post, the Associated Press, Wire, Engadget, and other news and technology outlets for this kind of thing. And what they basically do is they look at the cryptographic signature from the email's metadata and essentially try to validate it from that. And this is a, an objective way of validating the email. There's no cause for doubt about whether or not they're real if they do this. So the email in question, I don't know if he validated more emails, but this email in particular he did, which is the one where Vadim Podshazky, one of the advisors to the Burisma board, emailed Hunter Biden thanking him for coming down to DC and have an opportunity to meet his father and spend some time together. So Graham himself, I just want to read this quote from him. This absolutely verifies beyond a shadow of a doubt that the emails are real. So this is the same method they used when the Hillary Clinton emails came out with WikiLeaks, and WikiLeaks have, as they often claimed and talked about, that they have got a 100% record in this kind of thing. Here's the same thing. The emails have come out. They're authenticated. They're not fake. They've been validated. There's a DOJ investigation. It's very, very real now. This is very, very real. There's no more excuses for the mainstream media, is there?
Well, I mean, first of all, congratulations on showing off your knowledge about cryptographic magic. Me, I trust in Jesus. Okay, I don't believe in any of that. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, anyone who's followed our coverage of this knows that the chances of this being fake have disappeared slowly as time has gone on. Okay, this isn't a fake news thing. It isn't a manufactured thing, and we've seen bit by bit the evidence supporting the validity increase. And this, finally, I don't know why it wasn't done in a, before it was released even, but now that they've finally checked the metadata, now that they've finally proved it, there is zero chance that these are fake now. But again, that folds back into your question before. Why do the mainstream media refuse to report on it? Why does Twitter, despite telling the Senate that you can still use this story, still prohibit it from being shared under its hacked materials policy? It's insanity. It really points to, and almost all conservatives are saying this now, one of the greatest journalistic scandals in history that this isn't reported on.
Yeah, absolutely. And at this point, the suppression and the censorship of the story is almost as big as the actual story itself, because Americans who are looking at this and can see this for themselves have to be incredibly concerned by the state of media in the country right now. Not just America, to be honest. We live in Europe. I haven't heard about this from any sort of mainstream UK sources. I don't know what the situation is like across the channel.
I've seen a couple of stories about it, but they refer to it explicitly as a fake news, or a discredited, or a conspiracy theory, or one of the three. Right, the same thing that almost everything that turned out to be true later was referred to. But I mean, just on a kind of tangent, European media and UK media, they always completely miss the mark in terms of the presidential elections, because they literally cannot look at a story like this and say it's true, and they don't report on it. So people in Europe just don't have an idea of what's going on in the US. But that's a tangent.
It is tangent, but it's an important one. So I think, though, here's the thing as well. Like, just from this email here, there's nothing in a vacuum particularly incriminating about. I mean, you have a son, Hunter Biden. He does business at this company. Let's just say he's qualified for the sake of argument. He should be on that board. Because he's a fantastic energy expert, and he's invited one of the guys that he's worked with to come and speak to his dad, who's the VP. Let's pretend that there's no politics involved here. Let's just Hunter Biden introducing a work colleague to his dad. The reality is, though, that Joe Biden has consistently denied that he even talks to his son about his business dealings. So if he had not, and still maintains this kind of consistent denial of having any sort of discussions whatsoever with his son, then this might not be that damaging. But the reality is that because he doesn't even want to accept the basic facts that we all know are true, it just shows to me anyway that there's more nefarious things that he's covering up there. And he's really just dug himself into a giant hole here. And anyone that's paying attention surely must have real deep, grave concerns over why he's consistently lying now. And what else is he covering up? What else is there that's going on?
No, I agree. This man is untrustworthy. Seen it throughout the campaign. He gets angry when he's questioned. He gets angry when he's held up to scrutiny. And I think the fact that people dared to challenge him on this, or they've dared to dig into this story, really is a huge part of the reason that Joe Biden just, for him, I wouldn't like to be one of his aides bringing him news of the story. He throws a cup at you or something. I don't know. But I think we said the major points. Unless you have anything else to add,
No.
I'll say thanks very much for watching, guys. Please do subscribe to us if you haven't already. Please do leave us a like. Please do leave a comment. Tell us what you think of this scandal. And also follow us on all our social media. Thanks very much, guys, and see you next time.